What's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater. And we've all been really enamored with Tiger King. It's been an amazing story to behold, even though it is more of a docudrama versus a documentary series. More and more and more information is coming out about it, and it feels in many cases wilder than what we saw. But of course, that's nothing compared to what I believe we are going to see in a couple days when the after show comes to Netflix that will be hosted by Joel McHale. That's right. Tiger King is getting a damned after show hosted by Joel McHale. So it says here, Tiger King phenomenon will continue. Netflix is extending its hugely popular docuseries franchise with Tiger King and I, an after show hosted by Joel McHale, which will be released on April 12th. So literally just 3 days from now. Holy crap. It will feature brand new interviews with John Rinke, Joshua Dial, John Finlay, Saf, Eric Cowie, Rick Kirkman, and Jeff and Lauren Lowe. It will be the 8th episode in the series that was recently teased by Joe Exotic himself. So this is what I don't get. Joe Exotic clearly doesn't like Jeff Lowe because of how Jeff Lowe screwed him over, according to the documentary. And I mean, he's more than happy with the intention right now. We all know that he put out for a pardon from the president, and even President Trump jokingly said he would look into it. In fact, take a look at this clip.
For a long time, too. Go ahead.
One of the biggest rating hits of the coronavirus, aside from these briefings, has been a show on Netflix called Tiger King.
Yeah.
And the man who's the star of this is a former zoo owner who's serving a 22-year prison sentence. He's asking you for a pardon, saying he was unfairly convicted. Your son yesterday jokingly said that he was going to advocate for it, and I was wondering if you've seen the show and if you have any thoughts on pardoning Joe Exotic.
Which son? It must be Don. I had a feeling it was Don. Is that what he said? I don't know. I know nothing about it. He has 22 years for what? What did he do?
He allegedly hired someone to murder an animal rights activist, but he said that he didn't do that, and he was.
You think he didn't do it? Are you on his side?
I'm
are
a
you
reporter.
are you recommending a pardon?
No, I'm not advocating anything.
As a reporter, you're not allowed to do that. You'd be criticized by these. Would you recommend a pardon?
I'm not weighing in on Tiger King.
I don't think you would. I don't think you would. Go ahead. You have a question?
I do like Joe Exotic.
I'll take a look. Is that Joe Exotic? That's Joe Exotic.
Let me get back to the coronavirus.
Now, coming back to the article here, it says Tiger King murder, mayhem, and madness has morphed into a pop culture phenomenon since March 20th. The Netflix docuseries follows the exploits of Joseph Maldonado Passage, a.k.a. Joe Exotic, a former Oklahoma Tiger zoo owner who's serving 22 years in prison for his role in a murder-for-hire plot against fellow Big Cat owner rival Carol Baskin and other charges. One of the most popular series on TV, Tiger King has earned a 88% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes and an 87% audience score. The series drew 34.3 million unique views in the first 10 days of its release from March 20th to 29th, according to Nielsen, eclipsing the season 2 numbers of Stranger Things, which drew 31.2 million in the first. I mean, think about that. I mean, look, Stranger Things season 2, when that came out in the fall of 2016, it didn't have quarantine. It didn't have people at home with nothing to watch but this truly exotic show and wild show about a zookeeper who owns tigers in Oklahoma and the murder for hire plot. It's some crazy stuff here. So this is the Netflix tweet that just came out about 20 minutes ago, and this is what this is what we're in for. And I honestly, I'm not too sure how to feel about this. So let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Joel McHale. There's a documentary series on Netflix called Tiger King. I highly recommend watching all 7 episodes. On April 12th, Netflix will release an 8th installment called The Tiger King and I. It's an after show hosted by me. I talked to a lot of people involved in the project. Jeff and Lauren Lowe, Saf, Eric Cowie, John Finlay, John Rinke, and Rick Kirkman to see what's happened in their lives since the release of the series. It's eye-opening and hopefully funny. So watch The Tiger King and I, April 12th on Netflix.
Okay, so here's my takeaway from that. Not necessarily a big fan. Let me tell you why. So after watching the entire 7 episodes, getting heavily engrossed in it, and spending last night going off for at least an hour and 45 minutes with my friends about the show in the very first episode of an ongoing series that I want to do here called It Came From Netflix, we broke down a lot of things that popped up in the show. We broke down a lot of the stories that came down after the fact. and we discussed a lot of the key factors involved with the story of Joe Exotic. So here's the deal. This is some serious stuff, though. I don't want to be like overly, like over the top serious, right? Like not a Joker, why so serious moment. But when I think about this show, when I think about the characters, when I think about what Joe Exotic is currently doing, him being in prison, all that jazz, I think the show should be taken with a bit more, no, I don't want to say somber approach, but definitely a more realistic approach. Joel McHale, I love Joel McHale, but when he's untethered, he's not where he was on the Soup days. When he was on the Soup, it was fantastic. It was hysterical. It was great. It was wonderful. But ever since then, ever since Community, he did a Netflix show that was kind of recapture the Soup, and it didn't last more than a season. It just wasn't good. And I'm worried that the Tiger King and I is just a baseless, useless cash grab perpetrated by Netflix as a way to further push this particular series. I mean, that's obviously what it is. What more can they tell us? Carol Baskin is going to be interviewed. She doesn't want to be. Her husband put out this 9-minute heartfelt response to everything, talking about the filmmakers and how they felt like they were lied to by them over the span of 5 years that they were making this documentary. I mean, even Doc Antle isn't brought up. And that's the one thing at the end of the show that is really needing to be talked about more. I mean, he put out a statement on social media attacking the documentary and trying to defend himself, but he has ultimately deleted it, which I find to be very fascinating. And I don't know, like, I want to know more. I do want to know more, but I don't want it to be like, a Jersey Shore reunion special. Yeah, it is kind of like a white trash Game of Thrones, which is a great way to describe the whole series. But at the same time, I want it handled with a bit more professionalism. And based upon that little teaser Netflix put out, that's not what we're going to get. And I do feel that a lot of people are going to be fundamentally disappointed by what we see on April 12th in just a couple days when this thing comes down. But that being said, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinions. Let me know down in the comments below. I do look forward to your thoughts and all that jazz. Have yourself a great day, everybody. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and peace the hell out.